got going on here? Tuesday. Nobody is in here, it looks like. Okay. Well, a few people get in here before I start the video. Where am I? Good girl, huh? Wait, see many people gonna load up in here. Don't see anybody. Nobody's in there. I can't see you. You can post something if you like. You're a good girl, aren't you? You're a good girl, aren't you, Molly? What are you doing? What you doing, Molly? Huh? Hanging out? You wave to everybody? You gonna wave? Hi. Molly. Molly. You gonna wave? Say hi. You say hi? You gonna say hi? No? Alright. Well, I was trying to see if anybody's loading up here. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's not loading. Don't see anybody loading in here. So we're going to go ahead and start this video with or without y'all. You ready to start this video? Can you see it?
Yeah. Molly right now.
Huh?
Molly.
Yeah, it don't show anybody on the screen. How many people are showing yours?
One person per evening, Danny.
Okay. I can't see anything for some reason. I don't know. Okay. Well, for some reason, the stupid little counter on my phone's not working right, but it's all good. As long as you guys are in here, and then you can say hello. Right, shit, let's see.
Yeah, somebody else put something, yeah.
I don't know. It says hide chat. Oh. Not hiding chats. Show chats. Okay. No. All right. Hold 1 second here. Something didn't start. Hold on a minute. Look at Molly. All right. One more thing I got to do real quick. So here we go. We are gonna show 2 units tonight. Actually gonna show you guys this one here. I built one before. I believe, yeah, I did. Only one before. This is 12290 driving 4 2879s. And it does really nice. I've used this one here to drive this 16, and man, I'm seeing everything I need out of it. So this is actually a very good matched up driver. So kind of went old school with it, with a 2290 driver. Right here, driving 42879 standards. So there we go. Now, as far as the output power of this unit versus a Psycho Zip is about 80 watts, 75 to 80 watts difference, depending on the radio. But realistically, it's a driver. And with that said, you have control with what you're driving into it. First thing is radio, and you have a 2290 in there, so it gets excited pretty quickly. Could you burn up a 2290 if your radio's too hot? Absolutely. But this is kind of like the blocker for you a little bit. It does actually help bleed off some of that excessive energy that some people drive into their from their radio into the single stage. A lot of people will overdrive sometimes, and that's where they start getting distorted and not sounding so good. So check your wattages on your radio, especially if you get some of these King Kong radios. You know, the radios today aren't like what they used to be, and that's why a lot of times we moved over to the 2879 internal driver versus the 2290. the radios today can easily overdrive a 2290 versus a 2879. So keep that in mind. There is a little attenuation for control with this unit. So we're gonna run that one, and we're gonna drive that one into the 16. And this is going to be on a little bit elevated voltage, about 15.5 or 6 or 7, somewhere right in there. But this is a 16 for a good friend of mine, and he wanted me to do it, and do it right, and do it up. And it is a full-blown comp box. So there you have it. Lockout, the whole 9. So, man, I haven't got to paint on or work on a colored painted board in a while after doing all these South Jersey stuff. It was nice to actually get into doing another custom box, a C box. Now, keep this in mind, my South Jersey line is a totally different line. It's for the 2290s, the 454s, and 2879s, and maybe the 1446s. I haven't explored the transistor yet. But with that said, that's why I did this line. Now, if you wanted to get a C amplifier, or it'd be the MoWatts or the Mozilla or MoWatts. So that's the only way you're going to get a C box. I'm not going to build a C in this line. This was a line that I put together where it'd be really affordable and people's getting good, solid equipment for what I'm giving them. They're getting a solid piece of equipment, and it still looks just as good if it was all painted up. But I had to put the limit on those transistors for that line, and it goes all the way from 2 all the way to 32 in that particular line. You can get them all. So if you're not a guy that believes in the C's or don't like them for whatever reasons, that's your opinion. And if you don't like these transistors, then you simply stay over with the transistors that's offered in the lower end line. And this is pretty much the flagship line. So the MoWatts and Mozilla lines are only the 2879Cs. That's the only boxes they'll be in. So definitely a price change for sure, because these are full custom line of amps here. And it's 100% custom. So there you go. Let's fire these things up. Let me throw the lid down on this and hold for a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and start with just this driver. First thing, I turn a few things on. Get them all running. Get them all running. I'm gonna shut one off. All right, so let's take a look at this little driver. I'm gonna roll it back a bit. And take a look at slugs. I got a 25 watt input reflection slug, 500 watt slug going out on this one, and the same slugs over here, 2500, a 5000 on the digital, 2500 and a 5000 on the analog and peak. Analog, peak, 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 tweak, tweak, peak. All right, let's take a look at just this little driver. So it's going to be at 14 whatever volts, and it's turned all the way down right now. Audio, 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 audio. I'm drawing about 25-30 amps. Audio, 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 audio. All right, 14.8 some odd amps. Let's take a look at that driver. This is a 500 watt. Let me take and move these glasses out of my way. Get the glare. 500 watt slug. Now this is a driver turned all the way down with my radio turned all the way down. Pretty soft. Audio, 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 audio. So that is a 500 watt slug. That is 100 and audio, 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 audio. 130 watts, or yep, 130 watts. So it goes down to 130 watts. It's cool. I guess I can't. Audio 1, 2. Show a little something there, but no. All right, real quick. See if it measures over here. Audio, audio, audio. Show me 200 here. Good enough. All right, tweaker, 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 tweaker. 750. All right. Remember that number because it's not going to increase a whole lot. So as I turn this up, let's go halfway. The 5 transistor unit. And I have guys ask me about why don't you check your dead key and show dead key, because I'm constantly moving on my bench, so it keeps me from having too much of a too much of a carrier if I just keep it down low. I'm just doing step-by-step tests, but very quickly. All right, audio. So it's like 210, somewhere in there. What was that last one? 750 audio. So we picked up 100 watts on the peak. Audio, picked up 100 watts in RMS. So hanging out, this thing, let's go wide open. And again, a 5 pill. This is great little unit. Radio's turned pretty much way down. Take a look at analog. Audio, 500 watts. Audio. So show me 300 here. Going through there. Audio. Show me 400 there. All right, here's your peak. So audio. So if 900 peak. So if you go back and you think about what they used to be called, they were called M400s. And we all know those gold boxes back in the day, the Dave made ones, they were called M400s because it did exactly what this just did. 400 watts RMS and 900 watts peak. I think I have an old sheet somewhere and it shows all of those wattage numbers, and it actually gave voltage increases as well. And this is like a radio like we used to run back in the day. So just kind of leaving it like this. Now if you had a Honda radio, let's just turn it up while we're wide open. I'll just turn up and show you a 10 watt radio, 10, 11 watt radio, somewhere right in there. And now I got carrier, look at that. Okay. All right, so there you go. Take a peek. Audio. Let me make that bigger. I picked up like 50 watts. Audio. Not even really. So what does that tell you? I just increased my radio a lot. I didn't pick up much power, not even 15 watts really. So what's that telling you? That radio's too much for this. It's not increasing anymore. It's not growing anymore. Why? Because that little old 2290 in there just can't handle anymore. Molly, you got your bone down there. I see a bone. I see that bone, Molly. Can I have a bone? Can I have a bone? Can I have the bone? Huh? Can I have that bone? You're a good girl. You say hi to everybody? Yeah. Can I touch your bone? Can I have it? No, you're not going to give me that bone. You're going to lay on the bone. All right. We'll get back to you in a bit, huh? You say hi. Very, yeah. You got a lot. Okay. You want to talk now? You want your interview right now? You sure? But we're not even done yet. I'm hurrying. I'll get you another cookie in a minute. Oh, they're gone. Oh, I got something else I can give you. It's okay. All right, just hang tight. All right, so where was I? Potentiometer is taking so much of that radio, or the transistor is just full. It can't take any more drive, so it's topped out. So you're going to not make any more power. The only way you're going to make more power out of this unit is if what? You increase the voltage on the back end. Really not necessary. Kind of is what it is. So call it a 400 watt amp. Call it for what it is. And you have a lot of control. So with that said, just to go back to where we were. Go back to where we were. As low as it goes. And get a carrier. Alright, here you go. 500 watts left. Yes, sir. Audio. So I backed it down like that for a reason, because I'm getting ready to drive the 16. But with that said, this is interesting as well as you get into driving these boxes. Let's take and go. Turn that on. So you get into the 16, and I'm going to use this 5 transistor driver to drive the 16, and this voltage for a driver is at 14.9. Now this box here is over here at 15.8, and it'll drop down a little bit. But I'm not going to go wide open straight out. We're going to run this back. We're going to run it back, just back, all the way back, real quick. And we're going to take a look at that stuff. Let me see if I can make things happen here. Alright. So I got all that happening. Now, the phase angle that you're running the coax, and it really does matter. The coax length matters on everything that we're doing here. And so I'm running a half a wavelength from my radio down to this driver, and from this driver I'm running a quarter wavelength to the 16, and then another halfway off to my dummy load. So the phase angle for this, in 99% of the time, is going to stay the same on my bench, on your base station, and in your mobile. Sometimes in mobiles there is some changes, but you guys have to check that with a simple line section. You can read all the inputs and such. So let's fire this thing up with low drive, really low drive, and let's give it a swing here. Let's see what we're swinging into it. All right, 500 watt slug, audio. So a little over 150 watts, input reflection, 25 watt scale, each line's a half a watt. Audio. So we're under a watt and a half. And let's take a look at our voltage real quick. Audio, 15.5 or 6. Let's take a look at this amperage. Audio. All right, 192 to 196, somewhere in there. Now let's look at this 2500 watt slug here. Okay, each line is 2500, each line's 50 watts. Audio. How about 1400 watts? Not too shabby with 150 watts of drive. Now here's your analog, 5000, each line's 100, center scale. Audio. I'll get 1450. Let's see the digital. Audio, 1450. All right, here you go, peaker in a tweak. Low drive tweaker, audio. 3800, remember that number, because it's really not going to grow tons, but it's going to grow. Now, that was with 150 watts of drive. Really, this thing is just purring right along. Well, in the shootout game, it ain't going to do that, so we're just going to go from the lowest to the highest. All right? Well, let's go right here real quick, just for kicks, halfway. Let's see our working drive. Let's see the dead key drop down. Okay, that'll work. Working drive, 500. Audio. 250 watts of drive. It's pretty perfect right there. And especially at the voltage I'm at. Audio. Man, the inputs came down to 3/4 of a watt. Now let's take a look at that 2500 scale now. Audio. 17, 1800. I did see the 2000 jump up there. Let's see what this says. Audio. Sure did. All right, let's see what this one says. Audio. So again, she's very consistent right around 2000 range. Let's see what that peaker tweaker does. We were at 3800. Audio. 4000 now. So we picked up a couple hundred. Sure did. All right, let's take one other look. Let's look at our voltage. Audio. 15.5. Let's take a look at our amp. Audio. 252. This thing is eating. Audio. Wow. Gobble. All right. How you doing down there? You enjoying that bone? I got a couple more things to do and we're gonna get to you. All right, Molly Boo? Huh? Well, all right, moving on. We're going wide open. Let's see that one work. Wide open. Now I gotta do a little carrier control here. Alright, get a touch more. There we go. That gives a modulation. Here you go, 500 input drive. Audio. 350, 340, 350 input reflection. Audio. Half a watt. It loves it. It loves it. Alright, here you go. 2500. Audio. No difference with the mic gain up or down. 12 o'clock good for me. There's the peaker tweaker. Audio. 41, 42, 4250. RMS. Audio. 22 or so. Not bad. I like that driver. Good driver. So, we're inwards of input drive. Audio. So we're going to call that 340. And I had, once upon a time, a calculator nearby. There it is. Alright, let's take a look. Look at that. Look at 340. All right, divide that by 16. That's 21.25 watts per transistor is what I was feeding that box at 15.6, 15.7. I was teeter-tottering into the land of the gray and ugly, but it's in a controlled area, and as I don't sit there and fall asleep with the microphone. Now, if you really want to look at all the way, getting all the way down into the rabbit hole of the 2879C, you want to get all the way down that rabbit hole. Well, there's 6 chips in there. You see, there's 6 little individual chips. All right, and you would take and divide this number by 6, and that is the wattage being driven per chip, 3.5416666. So that is what one little microchip is seeing. All right, so that's all the way into the hole of what we just did in drive level. Now, as you've seen, my inputs literally started meshing in much better as I got this to absolute full saturation on this amp. So sometimes you can underdrive an amp and your inputs are going to be a little higher. Sometimes it works the other way. It all depends on how your system's set up, but a lot of the boxes I put together, you could lightly drive them, and it's not a lot. We're not talking half scale or up to 5 or 6, whichever. This is just like if it were on your antenna. So whatever reflect you have here, your amplifier sees it. No differently than what you have on your roof of your house or your car or your truck, the lip mount, the Wilson 5000, whatever you're running, that's your antenna. It's no different than the communication between your antenna and your main box. That's the same thing that's happening with this driver and this box. So when this box has a fever, this box says, hey man, my inputs are high, I can't get through. And he goes, man, I'm sick, I can't come in. You can't come and play today, my inputs are high. You gotta bring it to the doctor and get it fixed. Well, it's not always the amplifier. It could be your coax jumper or your coax length. And you think that you cut it at a certain length, and it's not, because you got a different type of coax. All of these things matter, is what I'm trying to say and preach to you guys. So the quicker that people can grasp this, is the easier it's going to be for everybody to be successful, no matter who built the amplifier. Because I will say, I've seen a lot of boxes lately, and a lot of them are coming out, and they're doing a lot better than they had in their old bad habit days, and those guys gotten better. Well, I would only hope so. In time, everything gets better. It took me a long time to get a lot better at what I'm doing, and I continue to take and progress every day, and that's what's important. Molly, what do you got going on? Come here. Come here. Come on out here. What's happening? You a good girl? How are you? How's things with you? How you liking South Jersey? Are you liking South Jersey pretty good? Huh? A lot of kitty cats around in there. You seen a possum the other night? You ain't seen one of those in a long time, have you? You haven't seen a possum in a long time? No? You gonna shake? You give me a shake. Huh? Give me a shake. Come on, give me a shake. You put it up and you take it down. Now you gonna talk to me? Say, hi! Hey, over here. Come here. Come here, talk. What's up? You gonna talk to me? Uh-huh. Really? You know what? I gotta give a little shout out. Even though you didn't get along with her, but Zoe died. Zoe died. Yeah, 7-Eleven's dog? Yeah, she died. She had a heart attack. She was old. Come here. Come here. She had a good life. She had a good life. But yeah, that's Paul's buddy. 7-Eleven lost his dog last night. All right, guys. Well, there you go. Hey, Molly, give me a wave. You gonna wave to everybody? Huh? Give me a wave. What? Yeah? No. We ain't going yet. Come here. I'm doing this. I know, I owe you a cookie. What I got here? Come on, man. I'll get you a cookie. Ready? You can catch it? Oh, you missed. Try again. Ready? Oh, you totally lost it. So, all of the things that I talk about in these videos are very important to your system, to the success of your system and the success of how you're going to talk DX, go to a shootout, or what have you. It's all very, very important stuff. And if you're not getting the memos, man, I wish one of your buddies would say, hey, watch one of these videos. He explains a lot of this. So when you're looking at drive levels, and this is why I jumped down that rabbit hole to get these levels of drive and be able to take and not just always have that super hot running 5-pill and you have to back it down. Well, realistically, this would be too much if you're hanging out down there at 14.8, you know. So you would probably say 250 would be a really good drive level at right around 14.2 to 14.8, about let's see, you know, right around 200 to 250. And if you look at, if you had more voltage, you get upwards of 300. But if you don't have that big old radio, the driver's not going to take and give its best performance. And keep that in mind, you always have potentiometer here. Potentiometers on your radio simply just control the dead key, and that's all they do. They give you a managed dead key for you can manage your entire system and throw a carrier. Now the next question is, well, how would you run a carrier? What's the proper way to run a carrier? Well, let's look at that real quick. I get this one all the time. Since the guy really said I don't run a carrier, this is how you're supposed to run a carrier. So you take and cut your mic gain down. You look at your output power. And you throw a carrier. And you turn on a box or something didn't get turned on, or what happened here? What'd we lose? Oh, I turned my stuff down. Alright, try that. Now, don't need all that. Okay, now, here's carrier. All you gotta do is set a carrier. Set something, anything, right? That's 2,500 watt slug. I just threw a 1,200, now 700, 500, 600, 700 watt carrier. Now, where am I going to swing to when I turn my modulation up? We're about halfway or so. Cool. All right, here we go. Audio, 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 1, 2, audio, audio. So we're hanging out right around, let's say, 1,600, 15, 16, 1,700. So about half of that. Mic gain. Little RF. So away we got about 750. That was too much. I like to run it right at $1,000. I gotta cut the mic gain off. Damn cord. Too much stuff on my bench. I like running right around 1,000 watt carrier. Let's do it here. Alright, got a nice carrier. 1,000 watts. Beautiful. Let it eat. That's all you gotta do, just let the doggone thing eat. Audio, 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 audio. 255 amps and it is eating. What was it eating? Let's see what she was eating. Let's take a peek. What were you eating? Audio, 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 audio. Right around 260 watts. That's pretty dang good. I think it ate pretty good. So, that is, to me, an ideal system. And go out there and talk skip at. Where was I at? Where were we? 360, yeah? It's 22.5 watts a pill. Well, I'm not going to say it's a terrible thing. But like I tell a lot of guys, you got a 16, you're out talking skip, try to keep it under $2,000. That's what I do right there with that rack. Try to keep it under $2,000. They hold together. And then keep an eye on your temperature when you're at that point. Kind of heat up. But pretty much it's the same thing I'm running on my base station in a fashion. Keep it under $2,000 with a no big deal ground plane. So there you have it, guys. This the box came out really nice. I know my fella's gonna be happy with it. And if somebody is needing a driver, this one's up for grabs. Again, this is one old school system, 2290. One 2290 driving 4 2879 standard HGs. She runs beautifully, as you can see it. So, if you want an amp, kind of take it for what it is. So we're right around 400 watts. That's your ticket right there. And these, custom built all day. So there you go, guys. I'm glad you guys hung out with me, even though I see zeros in my counter up there. For some reason, the little thing's not counting how many people's up in here, but it's all good. Thanks for watching. I'm going to say it's Tuesday, and I'm out of here. Got some things to do. I'm gone. Thanks for watching.